times up. This is DPZ and M3, and you can watch across the street. Yeah, Dark Alley Blend.
Here we go. What is good? I'm here today at Sloth City Recording Studios with my guys, Dark Alley Blend. We've been waiting to get this one done for a minute. We just asked their rap names. We're going to ask that one more time. Let's start over here. What was your rap name?
And3.
And3.
DPZ.
DPZ. Explanations now. Let's find out what that. How did we get D3? How did that start? How did that work?
And3 is basically and three more letters, so Andrew. It was something I came up with a long time ago, and yeah, it just kind of stuck.
And what's your explanation for yours?
So, I've always been kind of just like someone who freestyles, basically. So I never really had a rap name, nor did I ever think that I would be. But then once our friend Peasy passed away, it kind of just came to me because I was like, okay, if I'm really going to get serious about this music stuff, like what is my rap name going to be? And I went on and on with so many different versions that even he doesn't know about. Like I spent like at least a month or two on it. So I came up with just something simple.
DPZ.
D for Drew and PZ, because that was our boy's name, Sean Peasy, basically.
Too many Drews. We had a group chat before we started this interview the last couple of days. They're both named Drew. It's a lot of Drews in one group chat. Dark Alley Blend, also a great name. I will not lie to you that I feel like there's something coffee inspired here that needs to happen.
Yeah, that's what everybody says. Everybody says that.
Literally. Are you going to do something with the whole coffee aspect of it?
Yeah.
It sounds like it would work.
I actually think we're probably going to do that.
Do we need to release a coffee? Seriously.
They call it white labeling, where you just buy coffee and then you buy a bulk wholesale coffee and then you make your own bags, Dark Alley Blend bags.
I love coffee, so
and now you're in business.
I'd be down. Absolutely. Be down for sure.
See, we're like, okay, this is a great idea, but we're going to come back to it. Let's get our logo and stuff done. And this is actually our logo. This was done by an amazing street artist. He goes by Matapoil, and he's in France.
In France?
Yeah, he also did our album cover for Street Circuitry.
That's what you guys sent me?
Yeah.
Yes, and if you look him up on Facebook, some of the stuff he does with spray paint cans and digitally, it's absolutely mind-blowing.
I'll show the picture right here on my face of the album cover that they sent me that they're going to use for your guys' newest album that's coming out, correct?
Very first
Street
one.
Circuitry.
Very first one, yeah.
Very first one. Yeah.
How long has that been in the works for you guys to make this project happen?
A year and a half.
I think it's almost going on 2 years.
Yeah, almost 2 years.
Crazy.
Yeah.
About 2 years, yeah. And it's probably going to be till the end of this year when it's going to be done. It keeps getting extended because more and more people hear it. They want to work with us. We have more and more ideas. We're finding our sound, because that's a really big part of it. Like, even though we've been kind of making music together off and on, never really gotten to this level. So we're finding our sound, like, going back and forth with each other. So now it's like, we just want to keep going and keep going. When do you cut it off? When do you say, okay, it's time for project number 2? So
this is the first interview that I've done in like 3 years of doing this where I haven't heard any of the music. I've heard zero of the music.
Well, you and Birdie did hear "Breathe," and you guys were gigging on.
Oh, I take that back.
Shout out to Rappy. That's also our boy. Love you, Rappy.
Let's go ahead and just get that out of the way. All you artists out there, submit your tracks to prettydopesubmissions@gmail.com.
Absolutely.
And Rappy will get you played on his credited radio station.
He really will.
We did. Birdie and I did get a chance to listen to that song, "Breathe" and "Freeze."
Did you even know who it was at the time?
I don't even think we know who it was at the time.
I didn't think so. I didn't think you knew. But all I was gonna put something in the chat like Dark Alley Blend, but I was like, wait a minute, maybe it's better if they don't know that it's like Drew and Drew, because then I hit you up after and you're like, oh, that was you? Oh, yeah, we were loving that.
Yeah.
I love seeing people groove and dance to my music because that's really what it's all about.
I'll show the little clip right here of Birdie and I goofing around to the song. We had a fun time goofing around there at the studio to you guys' music. That was a good time. So
Yeah.
How was that at Rappy's?
It's great. Always a good time at Rappy's place. PDX Studios, fantastic place. He's doing great things with the Music Mondays. He's given an opportunity for people like y'all to have your music heard by the globe, actually. And Portland has really taken a big liking to it. We call Rappy Dusky and PDX Radio the audible version of what we do here across the street. So when anything that we do visually, he kind of takes care of audibly, if you will.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, he's got an amazing setup, and I just love what he gives back to the hip hop community and just to the music like community in general. Because it's not just hip hop or rap. He also plays like a lot of R&B. He gives artists a platform, and I absolutely love that. And he works damn hard to do it. And it's just like I really appreciate him for that. I appreciate you guys for also providing the platform as well.
Yeah, it's part of what Rappy and I talk about all the time. The enjoyment that we get out of seeing the smiles on artists' faces and their friends and family, and then new fans that have never heard this stuff before is like the best thing that we can get out of it. So kudos for being a part of that.
And yeah, absolutely. And I think the thing I love is the connection part of it. How it really just connects people together, and projects are born because of that. That if he wasn't doing that, and if you guys weren't doing that, like maybe someone's going to see our interview, listen to the music, and then we end up doing a project together that never would have came to life if it wasn't for what you guys are doing. Same thing with Rappy, because I've already had a couple conversations with some people that I've never heard of, and I was like, oh my God, who was that?
We call it connecting the dots on the show.
Absolutely.
We very much could. Birdie would have loved that. Birdie can't be with us tonight. Birdie had a little bit of a...
Wish you, Birdie, wish you were here.
Wish you were here, Birdie. Big ups to our camera person number 2, Ashley, came through today.
Thank you, Ashley.
You can smile there in the camera. There she is. We met on Facebook about 2 months ago. She had interest. I saw some of her photographs and some of her video work that she was doing, and I needed a second camera person. Went out on a whim, asked her if she wanted to help, and that's how this works. So here she is, camera person number 2. On her third duty? Is this your third gig?
Third gig now, yeah.
Third gig.
And I'm already behind the main camera. Look at that.
She's on camera number 1 today.
You're doing an amazing job.
And the weather girl.
And the weather girl, yeah. She's been the weather girl, too. How did you guys meet, then? How did the Dark Alley blend, come together? What was the...
Well, so essentially... I've known Drew for a really long time. We actually met because we started working at a
probation
job
officer. Their probation officer.
Exactly. We were very young. We started working at a place called Encompass together. It was a call center
For T-Mobile.
Yeah, for T-Mobile, we were slanging cell phones.
Customer
And,
service, all that.
And so we hit it off, and our best friend, actually, that passed away, rest in peace, Sean, he kind of tied the whole thing together, and unfortunately, he committed suicide 2 years ago. So it was a big impact for our lives, and we've always been big in the hip hop community, and I think that his death really solidified the whole we don't live for very long, and we need to utilize our talents. And so Miller and I decide. I call him Miller, by the way.
You got to do something when there's so many Drews.
Too many
Drews.
I feel like that with Ashley.
Exactly. We got to discern
Yes.
them. We decided that he would want us to do this, and I know Patrick. I know Bad Habitat.
DJ Zone.
Yeah, DJ Zone.
That's fine. I didn't know you guys were going to do an interview.
That's all right.
Oh, no, yeah.
It'll be chatty. We've heard. Do Jim Bonus Beats in the streets here today. We're catching up with DJ Zone. Mr. Zone, how have you been?
Yeah, I've been pretty good. Pretty good. Just out here, living, dreaming.
You got the Dark Alley Blend fellas here in the building tonight. They spouted off a bunch of names that I know you know.
Oh, I know some people. I've heard about names.
A lot of Smoke-inspired music, it sounds like.
Yep, Smoke does a lot of their beats, most of them.
And you're used to working with Smoke stuff.
Yeah, I've been working with Smoke for 20 years.
Stop it.
Dude, at this point, I've kind of reached this point with producers where I'm like, if it's in the budget, just go with Smoke, because it's just gonna be easier. It's gonna be cheaper, easier, and better than literally almost anything else you can do. So if it makes sense, just go with Smoke. If you're gonna pay for beats, just get Smoke beats, because you're wasting time and money dealing
I've
with
eaten
anybody
donuts
else.
during an interview. I've eaten croissants during an interview. I've had a chicken sandwich, chips.
Is this the
Mexican
first
food.
7-Eleven pizza?
First 7-Eleven pizza.
Boom! Nailed
Look
it.
at that.
Got
It's
him.
all gone. Gone.
Still got it.
So
Still
what's
crazy
your
after all
take
years.
on these fellas here? You feel like they got something good going or what?
Yeah, they got some things going on. They're out here in the old killing streets, making some musics, making some hips and hops, hipping and hopping. It's pretty good. Pretty good times.
Zone stopped into my work not long ago. You left. An hour after you left, I said, hey, for those that didn't know, one of Macklemore's DJs was here just a moment ago. And you know what happened? Someone turned around and yelled, DJ Zone! I swear to God, it happened. It happened. So you're embedded in the culture in the strip club game. It
You
sounds
know,
like.
all of my friends are rappers and singers and strippers. Those are the only people I know. I've realized that's my entire circle of people. Sometimes all three.
Don't forget those
Sometimes
strip
a
club
mixture
DJs
of
as
all
well.
three.
Those strip club DJs
The rapper,
be out
singer,
there.
strippers are the good ones. That's how you know.
So there you go.
Yes, but yeah, that's my whole life. I don't know how it works, but you know, it's fun. It's a fun time.
Well,
an exciting life.
Yeah, having
it
a good
appears
time.
these guys showing off a lot of trust in what you do. What do you have, 50,000 songs roughly this year?
Well, not this year, but since I started running the studio about 8 or 9 years ago now, at this point, I'm somewhere around 50,000 total songs.
50,000 total songs.
In the past, like 8 years or so, somewhere around there.
That's a lot of
I've lost count completely, but it's somewhere. We're edging up on 50,000 songs.
When I spoke with PE upstairs before, I've spoke with Zebulon Dak. I've asked them all if they come visit you down here, and they say
yeah.
very rarely
No,
do they come
they
visit you down
say
here.
they hate me. No, I'm
You're
just
down
kidding.
here.
No.
You work the vampire hours here
Yeah,
though, as well.
yeah. I'm here from my typical business hours are 4 p.m. to 7 a.m. is my stretch. So most people get done around 10 p.m. I feel like, which I've never understood why studios go from like 9 a.m. to 10 p.m. Like I just don't understand those hours. To me, like all the best music is made at like 3 in the morning. It's always like the witching hour. That's the time. Like who's making hip hop at 9 a.m.?
No
Like
one.
that's crazy. Why would you? That's insane talk. Unless you're still awake from the night before, then I can understand that. That's like, okay, that's a reasonable time to be making hip hop at 9 in the morning. But yeah, I don't know. I'm just not a daytime person. And I thought it might be weird setting my hours to those times. And then it turns out, oh no, a lot of people completely agree with me and wanted those hours in the
As
first
well.
place. So I was like, oh, okay, cool. I've found my people.
How do we? How do
yeah.
our fans and friends of the show out here come to find studio time with you? How do we get that?
You can
squared
hit me
away?
up on Instagram at the DJ Zone, or Facebook at the DJ Zone. Any of the things at the DJ Zone. You can email me. You can call me if you got my number. You can text me, call me. But yeah, hit me up on any of the things. You can Google Sloth City Studios, and that'll come up. And it has my phone number and email and things. You can get a hold of me. But yeah, Sloth City Studios. Actually, here, have a little sticker.
Oh, snap. Oh,
Rekka
look
just
at
made
that.
a bunch of
Oh,
stickers
shout out to
for
Rekka.
me.
She was
Yeah.
talking about her stickers that she just started making too.
Sloth City.
Yeah, big ups to Rekka. All right.
Yeah,
All right.
yeah.
Nice. Well, what's good catching up with you again there, Zone?
Absolutely.
Always good seeing you.
Always
Always
a
good
great
seeing
time. Yep.
That's DJ Zone here at Sloth City Studios, one of Portland's best. So make sure you schedule and book your times to come see Mr. DJ Zone. Cheers, y'all.
Like way back in the day, right?
Yeah, way back in the day, in the high school days when they were Lethal Audio, so we'd been running with those guys for a little bit, and I've always respected all of the work that they did and everything, and just aspired to do some local hip hop projects, and eventually, this was the moment where I was like, okay, well, we got to do it now or never, so.
Yeah, we both have actually had failed groups and so we had a little bit of a sour taste. And I'll admit, I was like, "Hey, Drew, let's do a track. Come on." And he was a little hesitant because he wanted to stick with his solo stuff, but because we've been rocking with each other for so long, like probably 20 years, we're like, all right, well, let's have fun with it. He's like, oh, you're going down to Zones now? How'd you meet Zone? I met Zone because of Rekka. And my boy King Vibe was in town. Rekka, because she's an amazing girl, which is, we have two.
Yeah.
Right now, that's our only feature.
And inadvertently,
It's
I knew
from
Patrick
Rekka,
before
right.
that, so.
And so it all kind
Like,
of
I
just
knew
came
Patrick
together.
back in the day when he was a magician, you know, like doing
At parties.
DJing, and all these guys were like, you know, freestyling at parties and everything. And
You were one of the main people leading the crowd with the freestyles.
well, just, you know, everybody was doing their own thing, and so I've done music for a really long time, and I've always wanted to like do my own thing. But after Sean passed away, I decided that, you know, let's get the Dark Alley Blend thing going on. Let's formulate a group and start making some music, you know. And
But there was a song we did with Diction Uno, and because that came out really good, then I remember
it was just one. We were here in the studio.
literally
It was just
came.
one.
He hit me up
It
and
was
he's
just
like, "Hey,
one.
what would you think about a group named Dark Alley Blend?" And I was like, and I wasn't sure what to think. And immediately, I gotta say, I was like, "Dude, I don't know about that. That kind of sounds like,
A coffee business?
yeah." I'm like, "Bro,"
Yeah.
and so I started.
Everybody says that
and I
too.
fought him on it for a little bit, but then Dab just started making more and more and more.
So the acronym DAB is
Well, yeah,
kind of,
because it's a blend. You know, it's a blend of music. Like for me, Dark Alley Blend means, you know, our dark times, and like we started to blend together all of this different music because I have influences from all over the place. You
Same,
know, like
both of our influences are different.
you know, I
but
grew
same.
up like the first albums that I ever owned were Tupac's Greatest Hits and you know, Bone Thugs and Harmony East 1999. So it's like you go from this gangster rap, and then eventually, like through high school, I started getting into underground hip hop and the real like lyrical stuff. You know, like
you call that the rappers.
yeah, the rappers where, you know, and Aesop Rock and everybody, and it's so weird that we're sitting in this studio right now and Rob Sonic is upstairs and stuff like that.
P.E. Strickland is upstairs.
Yeah.
Rob Sonic is up there. Zebulon Dak.
That's what I
Yeah.
was gonna say, yeah.
And so
We got Zone in the basement.
all of these people are instrumental in that, and you know, and so I was like, let's fucking do it. Let's make a group, Dark Alley Blend, and let's really start to bring back hip
How'd you
hop
guys-
in our own eyes.
How'd you
know?
guys hook up with Rekka? How'd that go down?
Well, so it's actually really interesting, and shout out to Rekka. This is such an
Shout out to
amazing
Rekka.
story. So I did a benefit concert. Well, we did a benefit concert basically for our boy Peasy. We got OG1 out there at the Jungle Room. We raised a lot of money for Sean's wife, and he also he had a couple kids basically, and so like we wanted to do something because he was like the primary breadwinner. So we put that all together. And I'm not going to name any names because I'm not one of those type of cats who does that. But we had a couple people who didn't like show up, and we had a raffle and some other things going on. So we had some open slots. And Rekka, I never met her before. She was there.
Yeah.
And her and OG1 are super tight. So she immediately got on the mic. Never met her before, and like just kind of like looking at her, I thought she was about to sing. But then she puts on this hardcore
Super
hip hop
dope.
beat and just
Yeah.
destroys it. And I'm like,
Who the
Who is
fuck
this
is
girl?
that?
and so I was like, "You're amazing. What's your name?" She's like, "Oh, I go by Rekka."
Yeah.
And we've just been super tight ever since. And then she invited me when my boy Vibe was in town. She was like, "Oh, hey, Vibe's down. Is gonna be down at Zones doing some stuff. Would you want to go ahead and come?" And I'm like, "Oh, absolutely, cool. I mean, because I love music. You know, why not come down to the studio?" I was here probably for about 2 hours, and literally I booked my first session that night. And
Yeah.
I have been coming
There you
here
go.
ever since then.
And actually, Rekka is the only feature that we have on the album so far. We have plans to do other things, but she's amazing, and
You guys are good
She-
friends with Bad Habitat, right?
yeah,
Yeah, I mean, well,
good
then-
friends with Nick, Drew, Yeah, the whole Bad Habitat crew, Matt, but Rekka came in and she just instantly formulates choruses and stuff and everything, so it was natural,
And she also did help out like with our choruses, because we're more lyrical. So I was like, hey, how are you coming up with that chorus? And she'd just be sitting in the corner and she's just humming it and humming it and humming it until she gets the melody. Then she's just throwing random words out, and I'm thinking it's going to be a part of the chorus, but she's just throwing stuff at the wall, seeing what sticks. And then eventually just something completely random comes out and she's in the booth, and then you hear it and you're like, whoa, I was not even expecting that. But one thing I've learned here, and I guess what I'm trying to say is I've learned a lot from not only Zone about recording and stuff like that, but also about like the process of making music and writing and like all that kind of stuff. And
Yeah.
I remember because I have a solo project I did with Caleb Wildcard. Shout out to Caleb,
Big ups to
amazing
Caleb.
artist. He has his own style. Like,
yeah, he didn't even
literally
write
came in
anything.
here-
He just came in here and fucking destroyed it. Like,
Yeah, he came in here and just off the top. I mean, not freestyle. Like, he had like some stuff that like he went over in his head, but then he came with the idea of that he was gonna figure it out in the booth. And I'm not like that. Like, my writing style, my recording style is different. Same thing with Drew. Like, you do music too. Like,
Yeah.
what is your style?
I do the same thing. I like to just sit on the beat for a second, write to it. Give me 20, 30 minutes. I can usually get it done.
Are you a pen and paper guy?
Pen and
or a phone
paper,
guy?
pen and paper. Don't use the
See?
phone.
I still know a lot of people that do that.
I'm
Sometimes I feel
still
like I'm gonna get back to
converting.
that.
I'm still converting over to that. I mean, I have like stacks of notebooks so thick, but for me lately, the phone has actually been working out just because I'm digitizing all of it and like running through it. And but yeah, I'm the same way. Like,
You guys picked a great place to do this. Zone is,
Yeah.
around town known as, he said he did 20, 30,000 songs in a year or something around town.
Yeah.
I think
here.
it's more like 50 now.
50 maybe.
Yeah,
I mean, like,
50.
doesn't even make sense when he said it the first time when I interviewed him a couple years ago. It just blew my mind. But you're in the mecca of Portland recording history.
Yeah,
kind of here,
absolutely.
with all the people involved here, this building, Zone. Interesting setup though, that you have Rekka on your album of all the features.
And
so.
shout out to a lot of the different people. Like, I went to school with Max Graves, so shout out to Eddie Valiant, fucking, all those kids. Like, I had a lot of influence going on in my life.
You guys know
during
Scotty
that
Preston?
time.
You know Scotty Preston?
Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, big ups to
Yeah.
Scotty Preston too. Yeah.
I mean,
yeah.
Eddie Valiant. He's part of.
Yeah.
And we're just so blessed to have such cool, amazing, and talented people in our corner. And I've met a lot of people through Drew. Drew's met a lot of people through me. And it's just like, we also meet people at shows. And I just love this Portland hip hop community.
Yeah.
For as negative as it can be sometimes, there's so much love and positivity with it.
Yeah.
So I kind of feel like you gotta
Very
know
strong
who to surround
community.
yourself with. But people like that, like Bad Habitat, amazing people, that are extremely supportive.
I explain the scene around town oftentimes when people ask me about it. I say there's rooms that people can feel important in, and there are some rooms in the Portland hip hop community where I feel very important. And I'm sure that there's spaces that you guys go to where you feel very important as well. And this reminds me of one of them,
Yeah.
That's always how Zone has treated me from day one. And I've always seen him treat everybody that ever comes into the studio, whether he's met you like 1,000 times or for the very first time. He's just super chill and very respectful. And so not only is he like very talented, but like it's a super chill guy to work with. And it makes this such a great atmosphere to like create and record. In fact, last time with this song that we're working on tonight, we've always been like, oh, we gotta write, we gotta be prepared. It's mainly me because I'm always like, we gotta have it done in the studio. And
Yeah, he was the first one here, wasn't he?
No.
we always
We
come
came together, but he has a bad habit of,
trying to make sure everything
he
is
jumps
organized.
to shit, and I'm a more methodical person when it comes to planning out songs. And
But we created here, and it turned out to be like honestly like one of our best songs.
Just
When he
out of
was in the
nowhere,
booth, I was
yeah.
upstairs sitting on the couch, sitting there vaping and writing on my phone and gigging with my earphones in and everything. And I had no idea what he was doing until I came down. And when I heard what he laid down, I was like, wow, I've never heard you rap that fast ever. He actually inspired his raps, and I kind of did too, off of Joyner Lucas.
Yeah.
It's that track called That's That.
Okay.
Yeah.
Which I don't know if you've heard his new album, by the
I
way,
don't know if I've
but
heard it all the way through yet.
his new album that just came out.
A couple of the songs we play at the club, I believe.
Yeah.
Yep.
I love
His
Joyner
new album just came out
Lucas,
2 weeks
yeah.
ago. It's absolutely fire, and you know, it's major artists like that like I try to learn like a lot from.
You guys are in the blast off phase right now, right?
Yes,
we're just starting. We're
very early in everything. You know,
Very early.
we have an album that hopefully we hope to release later this year. We've been working on it for 2 actually, so
We're just very hesitant to give a date because we've had people that have asked us, like even rapping, hey, when's your album coming out? When's your album coming out? Like, I really like that song. People at my work, you know, my other friends that don't do music, stuff like that. But it's like, sometimes, like you just need to find that missing ingredient for the track.
Yeah.
And
It's
like, we're
25
doing that now, trying to figure things out. And so you don't know when you're going to be done until you're done. And it's like if you set a deadline, like sometimes it works good that way musically because we've done it. But with this album, we want it to be quality because it's our very first piece of work.
yeah, quality
We don't
over
wanna
quantity
just-
for sure. You
we
know?
don't want to just release just anything. That's why we're picky about our features. And we just so happen to just like do a couple with Rekka, but like there's quite a few projects that like are in the work, and also some that we haven't even pitched to these artists yet. We're just kind of just hoping that they hear our songs and will want to bless us with their talents. So we'll see. But right now, what's most important to us is just the quality.
Any music video talks yet? Do you guys have any of that kind of planned out?
Yes, absolutely. Shout out to Zach Olson. Zach has shot a couple of videos for our boy King 5-6. Did an amazing job.
Bro is hella talented.
Yeah.
We did a song. We went to Vegas with King Vibe and Just Wild. Shout out Just Wild. For a song that I did before we started Dark Alley Blend. It's when I was doing my solo stuff with DPZ and stuff. We did this Life of the Party track, which was a beat that I made. It was absolutely amazing. And Rocket came out, you know, and did her thing for it. And it was amazing. Yeah, it's just a great time.
So when you guys are like making music now in the very beginning here, you have it all the songs are done and we're just fine tuning at this point, or are we still kind of sneaking new songs in
No,
for
we're
the album?
adding to it. So like,
Sneaking new songs in.
yeah, sneaking new songs in. Like, you know, like an album is just such a weird thing. Like when you're creating it, because like the hardest part for me was like, how many fucking tracks do you need for an album? And I would like Google it. What is considered a fucking album?
What is it like?
And it's
8 to
5
16 or something like that?
Yeah, no, but it's 5 to 18, so it's like this wide spectrum of, you know, and so, you know, Drew and I are always like talking about like when we're gonna let it pop, but at the same time we're like, oh, we can revert back to this and we're gonna be like, I would love to do some fucking tracks with this artist. So it's like, and you have to find that fine medium in between, like, you know, creating a body, like a solid body of work, but letting it go. Like, that's hard to do as an artist, right? Like, you're creating this body of work, but at the same time, you have to know when to let it go and to release it out into the wild, you know? Like, there has to be a time where you're like, we got to stop perfecting it and re-recording it or, you know, redoing the production on it and just letting it flourish.
Blend's going to do that a lot too. The
Yeah,
bigger that we get,
absolutely.
we're not going to forget our roots. We're not going to forget where we came from.
I'll give you a special thank you for helping me out during a tough time in my life even, so.
Yeah, and,
Yeah,
and,
hell
and see,
yeah.
that's what I try
Hell
to
yeah.
preach, and that's what I was trying to preach to him. Now, I'm not perfect, but music, for me, like, it was just a way that I could turn such a negative, dark thing into something amazing and beautiful.
I think most artists are like this. I think that we like to take the, stick it to me attitude and turn it into something big.
Yeah,
So
absolutely.
whether that's building a doghouse or making an album or reinventing your TV show, you can do that.
Absolutely. And I like hip hop for me is just like such a crazy thing because, like I said, you start out with, Tupac greatest hits and, God. What was the other album? My first album, Bone Thugs and Harmony East, 1999, and my stepdad was like, what is this trash? And he'd hide it from me. He was a big hair rock band guy, so I grew up on a lot of rock and everything, but then it was like fast forward to high school, and then you start to see all these groups that are like spinning about like all of this crazy shit, like.
But you've also seen a lot too, because your dad was big in the music industry. Why
Yeah,
don't you talk
so
about that for a
my
minute?
dad was, So my dad was a theatrical artist. He was a lighting and designer. So I've been to some of like backstage and met some of the biggest. I mean, I
remember you were telling me that story about Eminem.
Yeah, I ate lunch with Eminem.
You wanted to slide your demo, but you never did.
No. I mean, I was 14 at the time. What the fuck was my demo?
A little cassette
I don't
tape.
even know it was on
Here
that
you go,
fucking
Shady.
CD. But it was crazy.
That's how he did it. That's how he
Yeah.
did it. He slid it into Dr. Dre in a
Yeah.
parking garage, so you weren't too far off.
But that whole thing was really crazy because I got to grow up around the best, and backstage is not like a fucking thing, like you go back there, it's a bunch of sweaty guys, it's a bunch of roadies fucking throwing around fucking shit, getting ready for the next stage switch and everything. And, he had his electrical room off to the side, and I fucking got to see a lot of stuff early on. All the way from rock to hip hop to, everything, all press. And I love all music. I mean, I don't think there's really bad music out there. It's just people have different tastes.
And I think that's what makes this group special too. Is that like my Pandora list is crazy. It could be country. It could be some Pink Floyd, right? That we like
Sure.
listening to.
Yeah.
Could be like rock, Metallica, like
I love
all
all
kinds
of
of
it.
stuff.
Yeah.
We just love music and the sounds.
I just love music
and like,
in general,
and,
yeah.
like connecting with it. And also, I don't want to forget. Shout out to Smoke. Because he makes some of the most
Smoke.
amazing
Shout out
beats.
to you, motherfucker.
Yeah, shout out to Smoke.
Seriously.
And of course, don't forget about Rappy
He is
DSP,
an
but
amazing
Smoke,
guy.
He has produced most of the beats on this album.
80% of our beats on
And
the
the
album.
thing is, you can't really tell with Smoke whether is this rock, is this hip hop, is this
Yeah,
rap, is
what
this
is
a
it gonna
combination?
be?
Is this 80s, is this 90s? And it transforms like our different styles already. And then when you add a Smoke beat on top of it, people have said, I don't know what genre of music this is. Is this hip hop? Is this pop? Is this rap? Like, are you guys, like, what type of group are you? Like, what is Dark Alley Blend? And we just say, well, like we're
It's whatever
mainly
you want it to
hip-hop,
be.
but we're a blend of
Yeah.
everything.
I explained the other day on one of my lives that like the people you meet in life kind of become little mosaic pieces of who you become as a person.
100%.
And it sounds
Absolutely.
like you guys have a pretty nice mosaic structure musically around you for your whole life as friends and acquaintances and whatnot.
Yeah.
I would imagine that's a large percentage of why this is
Absolutely.
all happening now,
Man.
right?
I feel like this is meant to happen, to be
Yeah,
honest. I mean,
so
not because
much.
of what happened with our friend, but I just feel like we were meant to play a big role in music, and who knows, what that'll be. Not shooting for fame or millions of dollars. I just want to make good music, and I know Drew feels the same.
Yeah, no, I do it for the love of it, man.
Exactly.
Exactly. I'm like, I love fucking structuring words and being lyrical with my shit, and like, it gives me an outlet to really like, push stuff, and like, there's a lot of times where people are like, oh, they're saying nothing because they don't get it, but really when you start to digest the music in your own way and you start to think about like the lyrics, like, I mean, what is digestible? Like, what is it? Like, I think hip hop doesn't really have like a standard structure, and that's why I gravitated towards it. Was that anybody could come in and talk about whatever they wanted to. We could talk about flying to fucking Mars or, doing whatever, and you can rap about it and make it rhyme and make it dope, and so that's what really, like, for me, hip hop. That's why I gravitated towards it, was because there was all these little like sub outlets and genres and stuff, I was like huge into underground hip hop, Living Legends, Big L, fucking, just like, that's like a huge jump, Big L from Living Legends, like.
I can't tell you the amount of
Cannabis,
stuff, and I'm
whatever.
a bit older than you. I can't tell you what was literally in my cassette player and then in my Discman as I was. In
He's
middle
older
school.
than I am, so it's kind of hard because
And I remember those
he's
days.
older.
What's the age difference?
I'm 44,
And I'm 37.
so
But
A few mixtapes.
a few mixtapes.
back when
but,
rappers were doing
But
that.
his
Like-
taste of music is like old school, like mainstream, like hip hop, like back in the day, and so like I've actually exposed him to a lot of the stuff today that like we're listening to, and turned him on to like crazy shit like Henri Osborne, fucking Grey Skull.
Yeah.
Like all these local great hip hop artists that do this shit, and that's how I like perceived Dark Alley Blend was, let's do something different, let's do something fucking flavorful, like.
It's just kind of crazy because like he has his own music circle, I have my own music circle, and he meets new people because of me, and then like vice versa, like Just Wild and like Delgado and stuff like
Yeah.
that. And I've been rocking with those guys, especially Delgado. I've actually known Delgado for
Shout
like
out to Delgado. He's
18
amazing, man.
years. He's one of the most humble people that I've ever met, and talented as well.
I got the opportunity to interview Roulette Delgado and his brother Wheeze Beats in their family home
Yeah.
not too long
Wow.
ago.
Yeah.
So those his brother is extremely talented as well. Wheeze Beats. Big ups to
Does
Wheeze.
he make beats?
Wheeze makes beats. He makes
What the
fantastic
How
beats.
do you not fucking know about Weezy beats?
I did.
We need more beats.
I did not know. Lots of people are making beats. Like Jimbo even makes beats. I don't even think I've even heard any of your beats, Jimbo.
When they're available, they're available. Anybody knows how to buy my music. When you see it gets posted, you better jump on it right away because they usually sell right
And
away.
Rich James too. Shout out to
Rich
Shout out to
James.
Rich James. He's
The
another person
fuck?
that's on the. We have so much
Morbulous,
talent
big ups to Morbulous Beats. There's a bunch of us out here that are actually making beats at a high clip.
here. Isn't it crazy how much talent there is in Portland? It's crazy.
There is quite a bit.
Yeah.
What's our runtime, Ashley? Where are we at?
Over 30.
Over 30? Oh, snap.
Dark Alley
I was
Blend.
gonna like.
We chopped it up for 30 minutes on the show today.
Yeah.
We did that with ease, and we haven't even gotten into music yet.
We haven't even gotten
Should we get to the music? Because I think we
We
should.
got to make it quick. Get to the music, y'all.
Oh, and let's not forget also while we're here, where is Zone? Like we need
Where
to
the fuck
get
is
him
Zone?
and say his piece, and then let's get to the music.
We'll get to Zone here for sure.
Yeah.
We got to do the intro too. We got all kinds of work to do still. But we ran through a pretty good amount of time pretty quick. You want to give some special love, shout outs, PSAs on the way out here before we
Oh
wrap this up?
man, everybody.
I mean, we kind of already did that during the middle of the interview, but definitely
Yeah.
Smoke, definitely Zone, definitely all the local artists out here
Yeah.
doing their thing. And we're big on supporting, like all these artists out here. They're doing the same thing as us, basically. We also want to shout out Smoke, our boys Bad Habitat. I mean, we pretty much kind of covered a lot of this during the interview.
So we're just waiting till the end of the year so this album comes out, right?
Exactly.
It's not the end of the year. It'll be in the middle. It'll
Hey,
be
but
in the
hey,
middle
shout
of
out
the
to you
year.
guys, too.
Across the street, we back in action. We back in
Yeah,
action.
absolutely. You guys
guys are out here
too.
doing
Yeah,
your thing.
you're
Took a
huge.
little- took
Hey,
a hiatus.
you know what's crazy is you and I freestyled together outside of a show one time, and I didn't even know who the fuck you were, and I was like,
Here we go.
and you were just such a nice person, and I was like, dude, who is this guy? And then, Zone started telling me and everything like that, and I was like, yeah, this is fucking awesome. And then he did Across the Street interview, and I was like,
the
Waypost.
yeah, and just how much I just appreciate how much you do for the community.
We try.
Seriously,
Like you've done so much, just like off
so
the rip
much
for
stuff
free.
for the yeah.
Like in the equipment and the time. But I remember when you were going through it, and I'm not going to speak on that. But I remember that Portland stood the fuck up for Cross the Street. They
Yeah.
stood up and they wouldn't let you quit.
I spent my first couple, I don't know, 4 months, didn't really go out very much. A couple weeks ago, I went out and kind of resurfaced a little bit without my camera one night. And I was taken back by some of the honest feedback that I got about how much people missed the show. So it was a no-brainer for me to bring it back. So I'm glad to have
it. You deserve it.
Dark Alley
Bro.
Blend. I'm glad to have you guys here with us
Yeah.
today. Big ups to DJ Zone. Shout outs to Sloth City.
Yeah,
It's
for
a great,
sure.
great experience here. You guys are working with one of the best in town, I believe. So you have high praise as far as your choices of who you're recording with.
Yeah.
And I wish you guys continued success.
Thank you.
When we bring it in right here, a little Dark Alley Blend on three.
Yeah.
Dab.
1, 2, 3, Dark Alley. Let's go.